Hi everybody, this video is on the topic of teaching your puppy what to do when he feels pressure on leash, either when he's run out and hit the end of the leash or when you've had to add pressure. Say, for example, your puppy runs into the road and you need to move your puppy out of the road using leash pressure. Now, of course, you can pick your puppy up in emergencies, but if you have a puppy that's going to turn into a larger adult dog, at some point in his life, you're going to need to have to move your puppy with the leash. Now, without any prior training, most puppies and dogs, when you pull on their leash, they, one, find it aversive, and two, usually lean the other way. The same with human beings. If you had a harness tied around your chest with a leash coming out of it and someone pulled on it, you naturally would counterbalance by leaning backwards rather than just following whoever pulls you. So basically, in this exercise, we're teaching puppies that when they feel the pressure on the leash, it's simply a cue saying, "Come with me, we're moving in a different direction." And by creating a positive association with the feeling of pressure on the leash, it simply becomes a cue for the dog to want to move with you. Now, if you work on this exercise with a young puppy right from the beginning, before the puppy starts pulling a lot on the leash when you're out and about, it actually can teach your puppy to walk on a loose leash. This is because if you work on the exercise enough, your dog is going to have a conditioned response where they feel the pressure on the leash and it will cue them to come back to you. Here are some exercises you should work on first before playing the leash pressure game with your puppy. This is because you want to reinforce your puppy for moving towards you, moving with you, and moving with you when you make direction changes. And once you've reinforced all of these behaviors, it will make it way easier for the puppy to want to choose to move with you when you add the leash pressure. In my opinion, the 4 exercises that you want to work on first are the attention game, the recall, reinforcing your puppy for standing next to you and walking next to you, and reinforcing your puppy for direction changes while walking at your side. Check out the written description below for links to video tutorials on how to train these. This is footage of one of our first outings to the park. After letting my puppy explore and sniff the park, I spent 1 to 2 minutes playing the attention game, reinforcing the position at my side, and direction changes. The leash pressure game. Step 1. Add light pressure on the leash as you lower your puppy forward and then feed a treat. The point of this step is to accustom the puppy to the sensation of the leash pressure so it's not a sudden surprise. I suggest attaching the leash to your dog's harness when you play games like this, as well as walk your dog. If you're going to be walking your dog with the leash attached to the front of your dog's harness, you need to work on this exercise with the leash attached to the front as well as the back. Keep an eye on your puppy's tail and make sure it's in a natural position and the puppy is not tucking their tail. If the puppy starts to tuck the tail, you can work on games like the attention game, the recall, as well as handling exercises rather than working on the leash pressure game yet. Step 2. Put a distraction down on the ground that makes the puppy pull on leash. Use your attention noise or a treat lure to get your puppy to turn around and come back to you. Pop, pop. What to do if your puppy doesn't turn around? 1. Practice from further away from the distraction. You can have a helper put down the distraction to make this easier. 2. Use a lower value treat as the distraction and a higher value treat as the reinforcer. Step 3. Put a distraction down on the ground that makes the puppy pull on leash. When the puppy is on a tight leash, move in the opposite direction of the puppy without jerking him. Mark and reinforce when you see your puppy turn in your direction. If the puppy doesn't turn toward you within 2 seconds, use your attention noise or treat lure to get your puppy to turn around and come back to you. Good boy. Good boy.
Mark the moment the puppy turns towards you and feed the puppy the treat as close to your body as you can to train the puppy to come all the way to you. Mark and reinforce multiple times for the puppy being at your side or being in front of you before you repeat the exercise. If your puppy sits or lays down, simply revert back to using the treat lure.
So she went out, she felt the leash pressure, and that made her want to come back and not be on a tight leash. Basically, you're teaching the dog when they feel the tight leash, they should come near you to loosen the leash. Now, if you keep proofing this game, your dog is going to generalize it, so you could use different types of food, different types of toys, different types of people and dogs and places to sniff, like a fire hydrant. You're going to teach your dog when they see things they want, the only way to get there is on a loose leash. Hey, Pup-Pups. So I'm going to move the distraction over here and do the game again. So pressure on the leash, click and feed. What you're not doing is jerking your dog. You're holding the leash against your body to move your dog. Good job. And be careful that you don't back up and trip on something, because that happens to me a lot, especially in public.
Step 4. Practice with different distractions in different situations. I suggest playing this game for 1 to 2 minutes, 10 to 12 times in the first few weeks that you own your new puppy or dog. This is Martina's Border Collie Lumos at 6 months, and you can see he has a positive emotional response when he feels the pressure on the leash, and he knows what to do when he feels the pressure. If you notice your dog starts to pull again, it's a great idea to go back and do brush-up training sessions. Here's an example of working on the leash pressure game with a high-level distraction. If something is too much for your dog, you'll notice that they won't be able to turn away from the distraction. So if this happens, you need to make the distraction less exciting or move further away from the distraction. If you're doing this exercise correctly, you'll find that your puppy will stop pulling altogether. This is a good thing. If he keeps trying to go for the distraction, it means the distraction is too difficult, too close, or you need to spend more time marking and reinforcing him for staying with you after he comes back. In real-life situations, if your puppy starts pulling on leash, you can simply back up until he is on a loose leash, then wait a bit until you have made a connection with him again before walking forward.
I hope you enjoyed watching Halo as a tiny puppy, and I hope you found this video helpful for your training. If you'd like to support my work, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. You can also become a supporting member of Channel Kiko Pup by clicking the join button.
This video is dedicated to one of my #1 Kiko Pup sponsors, Lee Gordon. Because of him and other Kiko Pup members, I'm able to create these videos to educate the general public on how to train dogs without the use of physical or psychological intimidation. Thank you to all my Kiko Pup members.